We are in the county seat in the largest city in Columbia County. This is Portage. We're on the canal in Portage. I don't think we've ever been on a canal before. Now, I was on the canal in Venice, California, but never.
Not Venice.
This is not Venice.
No.
We're in Portage.
Huh?
Yeah, why'd they call it Portage?
Because, John, we're on a historic portage route between two rivers that straddle a subcontinental divide. So it's all about geography. To the east of us, you've got the Fox River that drains into Lake Michigan and then the Atlantic Ocean. Just behind us here, we got the Wisconsin River, which goes into the Mississippi, and then the Gulf of Mexico. So they're only 1.5 miles apart here.
Wow.
So this is where they made the portage. The name says it all.
Yeah. And when did that begin?
Native Americans used it for thousands of years, but the first Europeans through were Father Jacques Marquette and explorer Louis Joliet. Some people say Joliet.
Yeah.
They came through in 1673, which is more than a century before the American Revolution. So early on, they came up the Fox River from Green Bay and went down the Wisconsin to the Mississippi. And some people say they discovered the Mississippi. They were led there by native guides who said, here's our freeway, basically.
Right. Why was that journey important?
It expanded Europe's knowledge of the frontier. That was the first thing. It also strengthened France's claims to the New World, and it certainly opened a new door to the fur trade. More locally, it set the stage for Portage to become a trading center, trading in both directions, upstream and down. And that remained true even after the U.S. took over back in 1783. So they thought it was important enough to build a fort nearby called Fort Winnebago back in 1828. And one of the officers in charge was a young guy from West Point named Jefferson Davis.
The Jeff Davis we know?
The guy. Yep,
and how long did that fort last?
Fort Winnebago closed back in 1845, but Portage stayed busy. They replaced the Portage route with this canal beginning back in 1851, and Portage remained a point of exchange for everything from lumber coming from the north to logger supplies to a growing supply of farm goods in the surrounding region. So 1854, Portage incorporates as a city, 2,000 people, and 10 dry goods stores. So it was a busy place. First railroad came through in 1857 between Milwaukee and La Crosse. 2 more lines followed, and at one point there were tracks branching out from Portage in 5 directions, so it became a very important railroad town.
And that must have affected the town.
Grew industries.
Yeah.
So you have a brewery, a creamery, plants made hosiery, footwear, bricks and bed springs. So as all those industries grew, so did the population. By 1910, you had roughly 6,000 people in Portage, many of them German. So Portage prospered as kind of a middle-income, middle-sized town in the middle of southern Wisconsin.
It's all about the middle, isn't it?
It is.
What about today?
Things haven't changed that much in terms of character. Still a lot of industry and a lot of trains still come through, but now the main traveled road is Interstate 39, just west of town, and more stress is on tourism. Portage bills itself as where the north begins. In the old days, that meant logs coming south. Today, it means tourists going north. But it's always been about transportation. Portage has gone from a portage route to this canal, to trains, to an interstate, but it's always been a crossroads.
Great. Population?
A little over 10,000 and still more than half German.
And location?
We're about a half hour north of Madison, John, between the Fox and Wisconsin rivers, and just on the east side of Interstate 39. So middle of the state, Father Marquette would not recognize the place.
And we are in the bike route.
We are.
Yeah, on the canal.
Yep.
Not like Venice. No, but almost.
It's a short one, but it's a good one.
Thanks, John.
See you, John.
Can I help you?
Grab them by the neck.
By the neck?
Yep.
Let's talk about what happens here. This is not a distillery. The booze isn't here.
No, we decorate liquor bottles, wine bottles. Could be maple syrups, it could be olive oil, but specifically glass.
They're clear when they come in.
Yes, clear glass is called flint. So the flint then can be changed to really any color, blues, greens, frost. And these all started as flint.
Is this all of them?
No, just a sample.
Things out.
I mean, the biggest thing in liquor is You get it off the shelf, you put it in your hands, and you put it in your shopping cart, right?
Right.
This is a small company. They're in Omro, Wisconsin. Our business model is this really small craft spirits and a lot of startup brands. Here's another wine that we do.
Oh, my Lord.
So we like to be able to give them high-end image.
Yeah.
And we're able to do that by changing color and printing.
So this is not real etching.
Nope. Screen printing is what we do. It's
Screen
not
printing.
actually etching.
Oh, it's not.
It's actually screen printing the same way you would screen print a T-shirt or a hat or something like that.
Yeah.
We're just using technology that's 100% green, and the ink is cured with UV or ultraviolet light to eliminate lead and cadmium in manufacturing processes. And this is a bottle that gets filled in Jamaica, and it's used all over the world. 45th parallel up in Menominee, the same process that we use here today. But now we're specializing in craft spirit, craft beverage, craft products.
Who's this?
This is Beyonce.
This is Beyonce.
Yep. Beyonce is our red-eared slider, and it was free, so I didn't want it to be an orphan, so I brought it home.
Glad they didn't have a tiger.
That'd been fun.
Just so you know, Portage is full of small little businesses, but I believe that this is my favorite one. Yeah, look. Makes me want to get insurance right now.
So the sheet's gonna go up into the frame.
Let's talk about what you guys do here.
Well, we make truck bed liners. The product is a high molecular weight, high density polyethylene bed liner.
And you got a Bedliner form.
It's about 35 pounds when it's put in the truck. And it creates 470 foot-pounds of impact resistance within the truck bed.
So we recycle 100% of everything we make.
We also make a variety of products alongside truck bed liners, whether it be wheel well liners, the Ram box, the Titan box. So if you're looking for something to actually protect your truck bed, you buy it from us. We're the largest manufacturer of drop-in truck bed liners in the world.
What's that going to turn into?
That will turn into a twin sheet plastic pallet.
Because they're going to last forever,
It'll
right?
last longer.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's here in Portage.
It's here in Portage, Wisconsin. It started here in 1975.
Per year, how many come out of here?
About 750,000 Bedliners a year come out of here. Last year we did 2.2 million parts out of this building.
It's kind of remarkable, isn't it?
It is remarkable.
Yeah.
We ship all over the world out of this facility. So we're making Bedliners for Australia, Saudi Arabia, all over in the Middle East. To give you a little background on the plant, it's about 285,000 square feet. We work a 4-on, 4-off shift, so the employees work 12-hour days, and then they're off for 4 days, and then another crew comes in. So the building runs 24/7.
No, that's
Every
really
week.
nice. Isn't that
It is.
nice?
It is nice.
Are we the largest employer in the Portage area between the two plants? Yeah.
About 750 people here in Portage.
Why would someone not have a bed liner?
That is a very good question. So
Right.
you really need that bed liner to protect your bed. And when you talk about drop-in bed liners, it's a much better product than the spray-in bed liners from an impact resistance.
I was so happy to see these when we got to Portage, downtown murals. There are 6 of these all over Portage, Wisconsin. What they do is they honor and they give the history of Portage, Wisconsin, done by artists from all over. They're so great.
I'll show you my favorite one.
How long have you had this shop?
22 years.
22 years, and why the interest in clocks for you?
Well, for me, my grandfather made clocks. This was made in about 1906. We do, unfortunately, live in a throwaway society. That was made by Mathieu Planchon in Paris about 1850, where these things were designed to be around for hundreds of years. You're dealing with steel, brass, and oil. So over time, the clock stops. I like things that are mechanical and working with my hands. So I look at that as the caretaker to these.
This was on every grandmother's mantle.
That's what I'm saying.
So you know how to fix a clock?
This is my bushing machine.
Do you build a clock as
Yes.
well?
Yeah.
You do it all?
Like, whatever. This is a 9-tube Hershey, but this goes inside a grandfather case.
You worked full-time for a week on this.
A week on that.
And it's doing well, isn't it?
It's keeping time.
Isn't it?
It's a good thing.
Wow, hello. Is this a retail shop as well?
Yeah. This is where you come to kill time.
Is it? That's not the first time you said that.
No, it won't be the last either.
Today.
But it's something that you invest in, you have it your lifetime.
Yeah.
This is the noisiest shop I've ever been in!
am on the banks of the Fox River right outside of Portage, and in 1673, guess who was here? No, guess. Two people, Marquette and Joliet. And this is the rumor. The rumor is that Marquette turned to Joliet and said, "Where are we?" Joliet was like, "Ah." This is the home of Zona Gale. Do you know who she is? I do, because I did her play called Miss Lulubet in Atlanta in 1985. She wrote it in 1920 and won a Pulitzer Prize in 1921.
This is the last picture that was taken of her.
Let's first talk about Zona Gale.
This is her hometown. She was born and raised here. Eleanor Roosevelt and Zona.
And she built this house when?
In 1906, this house was built. She had been living in New York. She came back to Portage to just be a writer.
Yeah.
And she wrote Romance Island. And with the proceeds from this one book, she built this enormous, beautiful house. She lived here until 1932 when she married Mr. Brees and moved into his house, which is called the Museum on the Portage.
And you are the caretaker?
I'm the caretaker and the hostess, and I do a lot of tours. You like the little bench?
And the resident?
And the resident. She gave this house to the Women's Civic League because she liked the fact that any woman could be a member, regardless of race, creed, or politics.
Right.
And so she gave it to them to start their clubhouse.
Is the Women's Civic League still active today?
Oh, yes.
It is?
Very much so.
And their main focus?
They have several charities that they give to. United Way and the Girl Scouts and the food pantry, and there's probably a couple more that I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very active in the community.
And how long have you lived here?
I've lived here for 14 and a half years.
Do you have Thanksgiving here? I'm just looking for an invite, Shirley. Come on. Because it'd be a nice house to have Thanksgiving in.
It would be, but I'm getting too old to cook a turkey.
You are? If you come to visit the museum at the Portage, be sure to take in the neighborhood. It's called Historic Society Hill. It's 137 homes built between 1870 and 1910, and it really shows the wealth and the prestige of those early prominent Portage families. And they lived in this neighborhood because it was close to downtown and it was close to the railroad. It's a beautiful, beautiful neighborhood. You know how I love those big houses. Let's talk about the American Legion.
This is the state headquarters for Wisconsin. Started in 1919. Because veterans would come back after World War I and they had nothing. They took off their uniform, put on their civilian clothes, and that was it. And so they were instrumental in starting the Veterans Administration, as it is today. But it was actually established through the American Legion.
How many members are there?
About 55,000. That's a percentage of about 5 or 6%.
5 or 6% of veterans in the state
Yes.
are members of
the Legion.
Yeah. Why do people become members of the American Legion?
I think one reason is they want to continue their camaraderie that they had when they were in military service.
Yeah.
I originally joined to participate in funeral honors.
Port Arms.
This is the Honor Guard.
Yes, it is.
Are they all local?
Yes.
This is the Sons of the American Legion, SAL it's called.
We have GI Josh, and we have a hospital version of Josh.
Good.
We give the GI Josh to kids of deploying soldiers. We saw a need at our military installations and our deployments that we could make a difference there, and that's why we developed this.
What do you all do?
We ride motorcycles. It's what we do. We use our enthusiasm for motorcycling to raise money and awareness for veterans issues. We have polka runs. We have benefits. We escort veterans' bodies, the deceased, to their funerals or whatever. You name it, we're raising money for it, and we do it in every community across the state.
These are past presidents of the state of Wisconsin Auxiliary. This is kind of split in half, and this is the auxiliary side.
The American Legion Auxiliary. Actually, I'm going to teach these veterans how to make crepe paper poppies.
Because they're all made by veterans.
The American Legion Auxiliary poppies are all made by veterans here in the state of Wisconsin. They can be distributed year-round.
Yeah.
We encourage people to distribute them year-round to emphasize the importance of our veterans. Last year, the auxiliary units around the state of Wisconsin raised over $300,000 on poppy distributions, and that money all goes back to support our veterans programs.
That's great. I'm the son of a veteran who saw action in the Philippines. Can I join your post?
You can join the Sons of the American Legion.
Is that right?
I will give you the application today.
Is that right? Well, that was easy. If you've been on Highway 39 near Portage, you've seen this place. It's the Columbia Correctional Institution, which is the male maximum security prison right here. We wanted to get in there. They said, what? Nobody's ever wanted to get in here. You have a relationship to the prison in town?
Yes, we're responsible for the outside of the building for security. The sheriff's department has to investigate anything on the inside. So that pistol's over 120 years old. This is our memorabilia.
It's like a history case?
Right.
Oh, that's
I wanted
great.
to preserve the history on our department.
Yeah.
Before we had uniformed police officers, there were town constables. That was Ansel Clark, a black constable. He was a freed slave from the Civil War.
Huh.
And there's a good possibility that he was the first black police officer in Wisconsin.
Let's talk about the force.
We have 22 sworn officers, evidence kit here, first aid kit here, 2 community service officers. There's the laptop and 2 secretaries, so total staff of 26. Try to get out, John. But we did get approval recently to hire a full-time school resource officer. That's actually a printer under the armrest. This will help both in the schools and on the streets.
This is really their office.
It is. We handle over 1,000 calls for service every month. We usually average about 1 homicide every 5 years.
Yeah.
These are toy badges that we give out to kids. It looks good. Can you come in? I want to show you my dad's stuff.
Oh, sure.
My dad joined the Army in 1940, and then he became a deputy sheriff in Columbia County. So then he switched, and he was a full-time firefighter for 25 years. He retired in 1976, and I started here in 1977. So we've got continuous service.
Right.
Can I show you one picture?
Sure.
So this gentleman here, he was raking leaves with his kids one morning, and he went down, and he quit breathing. They did CPR on him, shocked him with a defibrillator, and he's doing great today. The vast majority of officers are doing the right thing at the right time for the right reason.
Yeah.
So we're in Portage, and we're talking Portage Warrior Curling. It's in November, so I'm here by myself. Brother John could not make it. Talking to Coach Jim here, girls curling here big time in Portage, Wisconsin. I've been told it's the epicenter of curling in the state of Wisconsin.
This club's been around since 1850.
And the amount of time that these girls put in to be part of your team is a lot.
Yeah, for them, it's almost a year-round activity. We start our practices in November. We end with a state championship in February.
How many state championships
In the last 10
years?
years, we've won 4 titles.
Talk about the boys' side.
It's a great youth program that we have. Anywhere from 45 to 50 kids a year, sometimes up to 70 kids a year, starting at age 5 all the way up to freshmen in high school.
Obviously, we're not at the high school,
No.
but what a nice facility here in Portage.
This is one of the best curling facilities around. This is a 4-sheet club, so they get out of school, they come down here, we practice 3 to 4 nights a week.
And you guys have a varsity and a JV girls
We
team.
have a varsity and a JV and a freshman team.
Wow. Coach, thanks a lot for having us.
Thank you.
We've been to a popcorn manufacturer, we've been to a popcorn shop, we've been to a popcorn wagon, but never before have we been to a popcorn corner. Yeah, that's a drive-through. Yeah, you win. We're at the Mercantile. What it feels like is like the concept of what a mall was, or, you know, it's not mall-like.
It's wonderful because it's such a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
We have something for everybody, for children. We have a gentleman who does woodworking. We have an artist who does glass jewelry.
And she's standing over here.
She is.
Peg, can you come here a second?
We have our antique guys, and then we have 3 artists that do paintings.
This is gorgeous.
We look for artists, people who have really unique gifts, things you won't see anywhere else. That's the one thing we like about the Mercantile is everything's really unique.
And your price it's so reasonable.
Well, you know.
It's really reasonable. And this
Price
is
to sell, don't we?
Oh, your price to sell.
We price to sell. Yeah.
And that's really important to know.
You can go into a gallery in New York City or California and you're gonna pay 3 times the price, and it's not always as nice a quality.
And how great to have Bonbon and Bordeaux mixed in with that.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
It's great when you can have a little sample of wine and then you walk around the store, there's a sample of wine, look at some beautiful artwork.
Is that what happens?
It is.
Because it's gallery-like as well.
Right. We are a hub for artists to showcase their work.
How does it work employee-wise?
Everyone in the building, they rent their space, and depending on the size of their space, they will work
2 to 4 days a month.
2 to 4 days a month.
Yeah. Can you talk history? Do you know the history of this building?
It was built in the late 1800s.
Great.
Originally, it was two different businesses. It was a feed store on one side. The city bought it and turned it into the co-op.
Into the Mercantile.
Into the Mercantile, and it's been that for about 15 years. So we want to maintain the integrity of the Mercantile. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But we just wanted to add more to it.
This is Portage Center for the Arts. They present visual arts as well as performing arts. They have over 60 events a year with local artists as well as national artists. And it's an old church turned into a performing arts center. How great is that? Guess you gotta bring your own checkers. We are at Northshore Restaurant. This couldn't be a better setting, could it?
No, it's beautiful here. You know, me and my dad just redid the whole dining room a couple years ago. And then, you know, obviously we got the lake out here, which is just absolutely
What lake are we on?
Swan Lake.
We're on Swan Lake, and we're kind of inside the grounds of the country club, right?
Yes, actually, this restaurant is owned by the country club, and then I just lease it from them.
So is it all country club people?
Actually, the one thing that I wanted to do when I took over as the owner of the business was make it for everybody. You know, because it's such a beautiful place and such a fantastic location that I want everybody to be able to come here.
What are we making?
So we're gonna make the Seibert burger.
Let's talk food.
We have to have something for everybody.
Yeah.
So we have cheese curds.
Tater tots, who would have thought?
Yeah, you can have fries wherever. Have tater tots here.
Good.
Then we have stuff, you know, crab cakes, stuff like that. Have a lot of sandwiches, a lot of dinners. So our steaks too are fantastic.
Oh, good.
Then we also bring in a fresh fish every week too. So something like swordfish, shark, or again, stuff that's not normal to the area, I guess. And that's kind of what I try to do with all my menus, are make them unique.
A lot of regulars?
Yeah, it's been really awesome getting to know all these people.
You'll serve?
Sure, yeah. And it's starting to get kind of like, it's not really the North Shore. Now it's like Chad's place.
Chad's place.
Yeah. You know?
God, it looks delicious.
And I like that. I like to tell the new staff members that we have and everybody that I kind of want to have the vibe of it. It's my living room.
Right.
You know, it's my house.
And treat it like that.
Treat everybody that comes in here like that, because it doesn't matter who they are. You know, I want people that come to my house to be happy.
I'd come back for this.
Do you mean that, or are you just saying that because they're there?
It's not even rolling anymore.
Oh, thank God.
Cascade Mountain, the ski hill right near Portage. We are in the Experience Center. This is where people come to rent, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Skis, snowboards, boots, poles, helmets.
Can you fit me for skis?
Of course, yeah. How's that feel?
So your parents bought this in the 80s?
My grandma and grandpa did.
Your grandma and grandpa did?
Yes.
So you're third generation?
I am.
Do most people come without their own equipment?
Yeah, I mean, the majority of our customers that come here are beginners, first time, second time, or just trying to get back into the sport. We have 2,600 pairs of skis, 600 boards, and about 6,000 pairs of boots.
We're skiing. When did you start skiing this hill?
My dad and grandpa got me on skis when I was 2 years old.
Is that right?
Yes.
This is where I started skiing.
It is.
6 years old, and
now you're managing what
right
you
back
do.
here.
Right back.
Yeah. We're in the motor room of the Cindy Pop Express. This is a high-speed lift we put in 2016. This will take you to the very top of the ski hill in about 2 minutes. There's 120 to 125 skiable acres here.
Do you have any idea how many skiers come through here?
A lot. It's not uncommon to see anywhere between 500 to 6,500 people come through the door on a really busy day. Middle of the season, we have up to 350, 400 employees.
350 people working.
Well, we have a pretty large staff of volunteer ski patrol. Then we have, there's ski instructors, rental technicians, food and beverage, the baristas up in the coffee shop, lift operators, maintenance personnel, groomers, snowmakers.
It's huge.
Yeah, we need to make sure everybody's taken care of for the day. You want to spend the whole day out here once you get here.
Come the middle of the season and the busiest day, do you look forward to those days?
I love those days.
Do you?
Yes. Just a bunch of families out here skiing, having fun. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people out here, but we have enough runs and lifts for everyone.
There's enough room here where you can really get spread out and not see much of a crowd, even on the busiest Saturdays.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yes.
The tagline for Portage is where the North begins, and I don't think it could begin any better. Portage. We like your town. Yeah. And here's the drill. You have 30 seconds to tell us why Portage, Wisconsin is the best place in the world to live, work, and play. And Mayor Rick Dodd, you can start now.
Okay, we have great recreational facilities here. We have 2 great lakes for fishing. We have 2 great rivers that are good for kayaking. We have bicycle trails. We have a good healthcare facility. We have good schools. But the thing that is best for this town is the people that run all of those things.
Good.
They keep the people coming back. They're knowledgeable of what's happening. They know the history of the town. They know where the recreational trails are. The Chamber of Commerce is one of our best assets that we have. And at that point, we have lots of other good things that happen.
That's all I need from you. Thank you very much. I lived in Venice, California on the canals. Little did I know that here in Portage, Wisconsin, they had canals as well. And a lot of bugs! So Portage is full of hiya.
It's
Do you
just
need
me.
any help?
Nope.
No,
I'm
okay.
too much of a perfectionist.
Really?
I could tell I'd be redoing your work all the time.
I didn't ask about me. Have you ever walked down an alley behind Main Street? Because sometimes the architecture is just as interesting. This episode of Around the Corner with John McGivern would not be possible without the generous financial support of all of our underwriters. Underwriters, thank you.
The Greater Milwaukee Foundation's Ernest C. and Florence M. Shockey Fund, and by the David A. and Nancy E. Putz Fund. The Greater Milwaukee Foundation, inspiring philanthropy, serving donors, and strengthening communities now and for the future.
Michaels Corporation, serving the energy, transportation, telecommunications, and utility industries. Michaels, constructing North America's infrastructure for our future.
We Energies Foundation and Wisconsin Public Service Foundation are proud to support public television. Together we create a brighter future for the communities we serve.
ATC moves electricity from where it's generated to communities where it's needed. American Transmission Company, helping to keep the lights on, businesses running, and communities strong.